How much do you think understanding money, understanding banks, understanding the flow of things will change things for people?
So it's all about opportunity. You need to go to where the attention is to find opportunity. There's times in crypto where there's massive opportunity because that's where the attention is. So if you position yourself ahead of time, you're going to reap better rewards, or you're going to increase your odds of success. Why? Because you're just positioned better. If you're chasing after an opportunity, like you're chasing a stock that you weren't buying early and getting prepared for, you're chasing it, you're not going to have the same experience. You're not going to have the same level capture of opportunity. So positioning is key, and positioning is important because positioning gives you the ability to anticipate. Remember, we talked about pattern recognition. Pattern recognition lets you anticipate what's going to take place. You know the winter is coming, so you go a couple months before winter rolls around to get ready for what? For winter. Mm-hmm. Why? Because you know that there's a pattern. There's a pattern for everything in life. How the banks move money, there's a pattern for that. There's a pattern on when elections take place and how the markets react to those elections, how the markets react when different disasters take place. You can analyze patterns, and the best people that analyze patterns make the best predictions. It's all about predictions. Mm. Because we talked about this idea of luck, right? And that luck doesn't exist. But what exists is your edge or your probability. And you get your edge and your probability and your information from observation, from observing the things around you. Once you observe the things around you, you identify patterns and you place your bets towards that endeavor. When you start a business, let's say you want to launch an app, you're betting on user demand. You're betting on people still using the app store. You're betting on people downloading your product. If not, you wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. But that's a bet. That's a calculated risk that you're taking based off of where you see the world headed. So if you can position yourself ahead of time and you get it right, you can win.
I think luck is interesting. I think luck, you can increase your surface area for luck, right? Like you said, through positioning, through putting more shots out, through picking up things that you wouldn't have picked up before, because new ideas tend, for me anyway, to come from questions I haven't asked before, or books I haven't read before, or people I haven't spoke to before. So I think luck it can be manufactured in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
In terms of business, again, how important is it for someone to understand how pivotal the vehicle they're in business changes their likelihood of success, or the ceiling in which they can succeed?
I mean, think about it. You want a path of least resistance to the top of the mountain. When people look at the money that they're making and then the amount of effort that it takes them to make that money, they're like, you know what, at least I worked hard for my money. Bro, money gets printed out of fucking thin air. You need to figure out how to make as much of it for the least amount of effort as possible. Why? Because there's dudes out there that are fucking printing it. I don't think you understand. They're literally printing it. Mm-hmm. Printing it, and you're out here working for it, slaving away. So you need to ask yourself, how can I get as much money as possible for the least amount of effort? So you need to start a business. You need to be able to understand how to arbitrage. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to market. These basic skills, because the assumption that you're going to find security in a job is a fallacy. They can fire you for any of a million reasons tomorrow. Your skills are what's going to determine if you stay afloat or not, if you have the ability to make money. The job doesn't count. The idea of having a side hustle that you're not actually fully invested doesn't count. You need to be focused on making money. Money is the name of the game. You have to take care of it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people get trapped in a vehicle that is...
It's the wrong one, dude. 10 years to get the app to profitability, getting investors, half-assing a business, not going all in. All these things are roadblocks. Yeah. But when you boil all these things down, what are we trying to accomplish? We're trying to make money. We're trying to be productive. Mm-hmm. We're trying to gain freedom. Yeah. In order to gain freedom, you have to have some sort of financial security under your belt. Yeah. So whatever business you boil it down to, why would you start something complex until you have your foundation secured? You need to have your foundation secured. Play the game, the low-hanging fruit, which is easily accessible in front of you.
And creativity there. So you reap what you sow, right? How important is it for me? I try to tell people to detach from the outcome and just attach to the process instead, because that's all you've got. And the process is molding you and you're molding it at the same time. how does someone operate through detachment?
It's about being present, man. If all you get overwhelmed about going to the gym today because you are thinking about the fact that you're going to have to go to the gym every single day for the rest of your life in order to, and of course you get overwhelmed. If you just say, hey, today I'm going to the gym because I am the type of person that goes to the gym, therefore I go to the gym, you go. If you're thinking about, the 10-year business plan, you're going to get overwhelmed and not be able to operate today because you're not doing the fact in the business that you're supposed to be doing today. Okay, I need to send this invoice. Okay, the facts that my business is operating in this capacity, and these are the stats and these are the numbers of today, not tomorrow, gives you what? The foundation to build out into the future. The future is merely what? The cumulative of every single day put together. Every day is literally the laying down. This church, it's the same example. Everything was built individual, brick by brick by brick. After now you see a beautiful building, but every brick was laid out individually. If you don't lay down half of the bricks right, this building wouldn't exist. It would come crumbling down. So it's the cumulative of every single day, efforts consistently over an extended period of time that are going to dictate whether you win at life or not.
Compound effects, right? Eighth wonder. On skill stacking, I think skill stacking is one of the most important things you can do. And one video I made recently was about becoming multi-dimensional, right? So one of the quotes that you love and I love as well by Da Vinci, which is one of your mentors, you say, right, was the understand the science of art, understand the art of science, right? And it all connects. For people to be not only successful in business, but in the rest of their lives, how important is it to develop the ability to connect like opposing ideas or one topic from one area into another area? Do you think that's a useful skill? And how would someone go about developing it?
Well, the reason that everything connects to everything else is because you're interacting with it. So it's how you perceive life and who you are that's going to dictate how you see everything. You'll interact with your marriage, your relationships, your business partners, your employees, your colleagues, the same way you operate with everybody because it's who you are. The reason skill stacking is extremely important is because it gives you the ability to, one, become multidimensional, which we talked about. Two, it's understanding that the skills that you're stacking can also be applied to different areas of life. That's why I call them interchangeable or interlinked skill sets. How you sell, for example, you can utilize selling in your relationship with your children, in the relationship with your business partners, in your contract deals. Persuasion, you can utilize it in multiple verticals of life. So you can take your toolkit or your set of skills and apply it to multiple dimensions, your ability to negotiate, your ability to market. That's why skill stacking is super important at an early age, because it positions you and gives you an advantage over people that are very niched in the marketplace. You see a lot of people that, practice some sort of profession. They're a dentist or they're a doctor, but their financial literacy skills are terrible. Why? Because they're very unidimensional. And in life, being well-rounded, fully dimensional is what's going to give you the advantage. So it's about establishing a solid foundation of interchangeable, interlinked skills. And then two, it's determining that, once again, you can't learn everything. So what are the things that you want to learn and why do you want to learn them? There needs to be a reason behind it. And once you find a reason, and it doesn't always have to have an ROI, it can merely be something that you enjoy to do towards an end goal, then you start mastering them. And once everything comes together, you end up like somebody that is like Leonardo da Vinci, a polymath, a master of the arts, the sciences. He wasn't perfect at everything. There's things, 99% of the things of the world he never even understood or could do. But he was an expert with anatomy. He was an artist. He was a painter. He was an architect. So you can master different things. But once again, today we live in a society where you have to incorporate financial equations, because money is what's going to give you the ability to actually go out and build multidimensional skill sets.
Agreed. Well put. I think overall it just makes you an interesting person. Unidimensional people.
And it gives you the ability to experience life better.
Yeah, because you can relate to anything, right? You can draw on your experience from business in your relationship or in your fitness journey back to something you learned about stoicism. So we talk about intention, and most people are unintentional, completely unintentional. I think winning in life is subjective because people can want different things, but I do think it's intentional. How do you go about being more intentional?
Winning is about accomplishing your goal. If you say you're going to accomplish it, if you accomplish it, you win. If you don't accomplish it, you lose. That's it. No philosophy, no science. If you say you're going to do something, you don't do it, you lost. You're a loser until you do the winning habit, until you perform the winning behavior, and until you receive the winning outcome. Winners win, losers lose. It's very simple, bro. You do it or you don't do it.
And what do you think about purpose? Do you think everyone is given a unique gift that they are on the journey of uncovering? Or do you think that is their gift is discovered through experience? Or do you think there is no gift? You are thrown into different facets of life, and then whatever you develop and become the best at, that's the path that you go down.
I guess purpose is whatever you want it to be. You can have a deep intrinsic purpose, and you can have a very shallow basic one. If your purpose is to have a great life and you don't care about money, then your life will portray that. If your purpose is to help a lot of people and you want to make money in order to do that, then your life will portray that. If you want to be a family man and that's your purpose, then your life will portray that. There isn't necessarily a right or a wrong when it comes to purpose. It all comes down to, is your life purpose driven? What is purpose? Goal. Goal orientation, right? Do you have somewhere that you're headed? Most people find themselves in a place of distress because they find themselves in a place of limbo. They don't know where they're going. If they just had something, even that's why people find so much confidence and so much, mental stability in the gym, because it's something that they can look forward to, that they know it exists, that they can accomplish. But it's a great stepping stool. It's a great beginning point. But you have to have that purpose, that goal setting in order to be able to navigate life. Purpose is extremely important because it gives you aim, it gives you direction.
Yeah, I think it was Aristotle, Seneca, or something that said that the man who knows not where he goes, no wind is favorable, right? So you have no idea if an opportunity comes to you, but you don't know where your purpose is heading, you don't know if that opportunity is good or bad for you, because you don't have any idea of where the port you're sailing to. So, yeah, I think also purpose is discovered through experience,